What's going on, everybody? It's Keegan here. I'm back with another video for you guys. And, well, it's that time of year again. Today I'm showing you guys my Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray collection as of 2024. Now, we do this every year. We've been doing a video like this every year for the last 4 years where I show off all the Blu-rays and 4K Blu-rays that I own. And as of this video, I currently have 555 Blu-rays and 54 4K Blu-rays. So this is going to be a pretty long video. Now, I'm not going to go into detail onto every single Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray that I have, because that's going to take way too long, even though this is going to be a pretty long video. And before we actually get started, I'm going to show you guys the shelf really quick, like an overview of the shelf, and then we'll get started. Alright, so here's my shelf. There's a couple things that were on the shelf, like right here, I had to move before we got started. I didn't move everything, but I've moved just about everything. But we're going to go all the way up to the top and make our way to that section. And you'll notice there's some DVDs and some VHSs on here, although all the DVDs are TV shows that I have on DVD. And there's some VHSs too. The rest of them are in this little blue storage container. And this is actually not one big shelf. These are actually 3 separate shelves. This is a shelf. This is a separate shelf. And this is a separate shelf. And there actually used to be a cabinet door on this shelf, but I took it off a while ago. And I used to put some of my DVDs on this shelf here, but now it's all just Blu-rays. It looks pretty cool. It looks like one big shelf. But yeah, so anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get started. Starting with the top row, where I keep my box sets. So starting up here, we have 2001: A Space Odyssey on 4K. I actually revisited this movie about a week ago at one of my local theaters. Fantastic movie. And then we got the Dark Knight trilogy with Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Then we got the Die Hard collection with all the Die Hard movies. Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Harder, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Live for Your Die Hard, and A Good Day to Die Hard. And then we got the Bourne trilogy with The Bourne Identity, The Bourne Supremacy, and The Bourne Ultimatum. And then we got The Bourne Legacy, Jason Bourne. And then we got the Friday the 13th Scream Factory box set with all the movies, including the remake. Very cool box set, one of my favorite box sets. Then we got The Hills Have Eyes on Rated Collection with The Hills Have Eyes 1 and The Hills Have Eyes 2. These are the remakes, by the way. Yep. Then we got the Indiana Jones collection with the first 4 movies. I don't have Dial of Destiny yet, but I will get that one eventually, even though I didn't particularly love the film, but it was okay. Then we got It's a Wonderful Life. A little beat up, but that's okay. I got this one at a drugstore, surprisingly. But despite the crushed case, it's fine. Then we got the James Bond box set with From Dr. No to Spectre. And then we got No Time to Die separately. I've been revisiting these James Bond movies the last little while. Right now, I'm currently on The Living Daylights, which is one of the 2 Timothy Dalton Bond movies, and I've been reviewing these lately. I will be doing part 4, I think, is what part I'll be doing next. I'll be getting to that one pretty soon. Then we got the Jaws VHS box release, which looks pretty cool. The Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Nightmare on Elm Street collection, the Resident Evil collection with the first 5 Resident Evil movies. I still need to get Resident Evil, the final chapter, at some point. Then we got the Sony Pictures Classics 30 years box set, which is pretty cool. You got a bunch of good movies on there. It's very nice. Then we got The Sopranos, the complete series. Twin Peaks, the complete series. I have Firewalk with Me on the Criterion. We will get to those when we get to my Criterions. Then we got the Terminator 6 film collection. I've only seen the 3rd one on TV a long time ago, and a part of Terminator 2. I gotta get around to watching all these at some point. I will, and then I will review them. Then we got that really cool Wanted box set. The West Side Story 50th Anniversary Edition box set. I'm not really into musicals, but this was a really nice release. And then we got the World of Wonka Way Criterion box set. Really great box set. And yeah, so those are the box sets I have. We have a few more box sets to go through, but we'll get to those later in the video. So let's continue on with the first row. All right. So right here we have this scratch and sniff card for Polyester when I saw it at one of my local theaters a couple months ago. That's a very fun film. I actually don't own the film, but I would like to get the Criterion Blu-ray of it at some point. That's a funny movie. Anyways, right here we got 3 from Hell, 310 to Yuma, the remake, 8 Mile, 12 Years a Slave, 21 Grams, 21 Jump Street. I did have 22 Jump Street on DVD, but I got rid of it so I can upgrade it to Blu-ray. I just haven't got around to upgrading it yet. 30 Days a Night, great vampire movie. The 40-Year-Old Virgin, 127 Hours, 500 Days of Summer, 2001 Maniacs, that's a fun one. Across the Universe, one of my favorite movies. And not gonna lie, this is the movie that got me into liking the Beatles. Yeah, surprisingly, it is the movie that got me into liking the Beatles. Akira, Alita Battle Angel, All Good Things, American Beauty, classic. And I also have a poster of that on my wall. I found that at an antique store a while back. Anyways, American Gangster on 4K, American Hustle, American Psycho, a double feature pack with Anatomy and Anatomy 2. The first Anatomy is a pretty good German film, a horror film. The sequel was okay. I wasn't a big fan of the second one. Antiviral, Anomalisa, Apocalypse Now with Apocalypse Now and Apocalypse Now Redux. I'd like to get the final cut on 4K at some point. Apocalypto, Arrival, Atomic Blonde. I enjoyed that movie. It's pretty underrated. Avatar, pretty good movie. I don't have the sequel. I didn't love the sequel, but I thought it was a decent sequel. I'll probably get it eventually. The Autopsy of Jane Doe. That's a pretty creepy movie. Baby Driver. Babel. Over here we got Bad Santa. That's a funny movie. I don't have the sequel, and I also haven't seen the sequel, but I heard it wasn't very good. Bad Times at the El Royale. I enjoyed that one. That's pretty underrated. The Paint Job. 1989 Batman. Battle Royale. Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. Beautiful Boy. Beverly Hills Cop, the first one. I don't have the sequels or... Yeah, I don't have the sequels, but I'll probably get those one day. The Big Lebowski on 4K. Yeah, that's like your opinion, man. Classic. Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. Black Hawk Down. Black Swan. Black Snake Moan. Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2049. Boogie Nights. I actually revisited this one a few weeks ago. Awesome movie. One of my favorites. Boys in the Hood. And we got another double feature Blu-ray. Bram Stoker's Dracula and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I actually revisited Bram Stoker's Dracula not that long ago. Pretty good movie despite its flaws. I haven't seen Frankenstein yet. I'll probably check that out soon. Anyways, Brokeback Mountain. I Wish I Knew How to Quit You. Great movie. Bruno. Buried. That's a pretty good thriller. And this is a model M4. It's not real, it's just a model. It looks pretty cool. Let me just move that. Anyways, Bullet Train. Caligula. Probably a very interesting movie, to say the least. Not much to say about it. Pretty frisky, or greasy is how Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys would call it. Anyways, Capote, Cape Fear, the original, and the remake. I actually like the remake a lot more than the original. The original's still pretty good, but I don't know, I like the remake better. Casino, Carlito's Way. I'd like to get the Arrow video release of this one at some point. It's a very good movie. Changing Lanes. I know this one's going to be getting a Kino Lorber release here pretty soon. I think it might already be out or something. I'm not sure. But I know it's getting a Kino Lorber release eventually. Chinatown. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. Children of Men. Chronicle. Pretty good movie. Citizen Kane. A Clockwork Orange. I was cured, all right. Cloverfield. Climax. It's a pretty crazy movie. That's a Russian doll. Just gotta move that. Closer. Collateral. Come True. And what I just touched there is the director's cut edition of Midsommar that you could only have got on the A24 website. I got this off eBay 2 years ago. Yeah, great movie. I enjoyed that one. I also have the theatrical cut, but we'll get to that later in the video. Anyways, where was I? Collateral, good movie. Come True. This is actually in Edmonton, a Canadian film that was filmed in Edmonton, not far from where I'm from. Pretty good movie. I actually enjoyed that one. Coming to America. Funny movie. The sequel's terrible. Contact. Coraline. One of my favorites. I like that. I revisited this movie twice. The last time I revisited it was not that long ago. I actually like this movie a lot more than I did when I was a kid. It's a good movie. Cosmopolis, the only Cronenberg movie that I didn't like. But I still have it just to have all the Cronenberg films. Crank 1 and Crank 2. I've only seen the first one. It's a pretty fun movie. I haven't seen the second one yet. Crazy Heart. The Crazies. The remake. A Cure for Wellness. Dallas Buyers Club. A Dangerous Method. Another Cronenberg. Daybreakers. Dead Poet Society. Dark Shadows. Death Proof. The Bronson Triple Threat Collection with Death Wish 2, Death Wish 3, and Death Wish 4. Fun movies. I have the first one on Steelbook. And I don't have 5, but I know there is a Kino Lorber release of that one. I'll probably have to get that eventually. Deliverance. The Descent. District 13. And the sequel, District 13 Ultimatum. Pretty good French action movies. I think I like the first one better. The Devil's Rejects. The Departed, my favorite Scorsese movie, and one of my all-time favorites. Django Unchained. Donnie Brasco. I actually just watched this one a couple weeks ago. Not that long ago. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed that one. Let me just move that out of the way. Next up, we got Doubt. The Doom Generation. Awesome movie. Pretty crazy movie, too. Dragon Ball Evolution. I haven't seen it. I heard it's bad, but yeah. I kind of like watching bad movies sometimes. We got the Dragon Tattoo trilogy. This is the Swedish films. I have the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo over there. We'll get to that in a minute. We got Dune, the David Lynch one, and 2021 Dune. I didn't mind the David Lynch one. It's got its flaws, but I thought it was decent. And the 2021 Dune is much better. I did go see Dune Part 2 recently, and I really enjoyed that one. That was a great sequel. I'll definitely get that on physical when it comes out. Anyways, Drive, 8th Grade, El Mariachi, and Desperado. I've only seen El Mariachi. I haven't watched Desperado yet. And I don't have Once Upon a Time in Mexico, but I'll get that one eventually. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It's a good movie. I just think it's a bit overrated, but it's still a good movie, though. I don't think it should have won Best Picture, though, in my opinion. Evil Dead, the original. Eyes Wide Shut. The Exorcism at Emily Rose. The Expendables. I don't have 2 and 3, but I have seen them. They're pretty good. Well, the third one was okay. I haven't seen the fourth one, but I heard the fourth one's bad. Yeah. The Exorcist, awesome movie. I have the second one on Scream Factory, which we will get to when we get to the Scream Factory movies. Anyways, Enter the Void, The Fablemans, Fargo, The Fault in Our Stars, The Favorite, A Few Good Men, Fight Club, revisited that one recently, awesome movie. Flight, The Fifth Element, Final Destination 5. I have the first 4 movies on DVD. Four Brothers, The Fly, that is the remake from David Cronenberg. Full Metal Jacket. I'll just leave that one out, I guess. Frankenhooker, that's a funny movie. The French Dispatch, Frighteners, From Paris with Love, that's a fun one. Funny People, Gangs in New York, The Ghost Rider, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, that's the David Fincher one. Gladiator, Glass, this movie was ass. Gone Girl, great movie. Gone with the Wind, The Godfather trilogy, and the recut version of Part 3, The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone. I actually haven't watched this cut of the movie yet. I should definitely get around to watching it at some point. That's on 4K, by the way. Good Morning Vietnam, Goodfellas on 4K, Good Time, The Goonies, classic, Hacksaw Ridge, The Hangover, Hangover Part 2, and The Hangover Part 3, Halloween, the original, Hardcore Henry, The Hateful Eight, Heat, Her, Hereditary, Heavenly Creatures, underrated Peter Jackson. I actually enjoyed that movie. Heavy Metal, I actually rewatched this one last night, and yeah, it's a fun movie. Really kick-ass soundtrack in that movie, too. Hell or High Water, and the last one for this row, High Tension, great slasher. And that's the first row. Now onto the second row. Alright, on the second row, we have A History of Violence, Hobo with a Shotgun, that's a fun one. A double feature Blu-ray with Hollow Man and Hollow Man 2. The Holy Mountain, that's a weird one. Great movie, though. Holy Spider, House of a Thousand Corpses, Hotel Rwanda, Hugo, Home Alone, classic. The Hunger, one of my favorites. Hustle and Flow, The Hurt Locker, I Am Love, I Spit on Your Grave, the original, and the remake. I haven't watched the remake yet, but I have seen the original. The original is not bad. It's pretty disturbing, though. I hear the remake's pretty extreme. Anyways, I Saw the Devil. Awesome movie. Brutal movie, though. Itchy the Killer. Inception. Indian Horse. Into the Wild. Incredibles 2. I don't have the first one, but I have the second one. I'd like to get the first one on Blu-ray because that's a movie I remember seeing in theaters back in the day. That was actually the first movie I saw in theaters, actually, back in 2004. This one's not as good as the first one, but it's an okay movie. Infinity Pool, one of my favorite movies from last year. Inglourious Bastards, awesome movie. And I got a poster of that on my wall. Yeah. Anyways. Inherent Vice. Interview with the Vampire. Watched this one recently. Pretty good vampire movie. Anyways. Isle of Dogs. It Follows. Jackie Brown. Jerry Maguire. And over here, it's a little tight, but let me just get this one out really quickly. John Wick. John Wick Chapter 2. and John Wick Chapter 3. I don't have Chapter 4 yet, but I have seen it, and I thought it was pretty good. Probably the most entertaining movie in the series, but Chapter 2 is still my favorite. Anyways, Junkhead, great animated film. Juno, classic. Jojo Rabbit. Joker, I'm looking forward to the sequel that's coming out in October. That one looks good. Well, they haven't released a trailer for it yet, but I do looking forward to the sequel. Kick-Ass. The Kids Are Alright. Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2. The Killing of Sacred Deer. Killing Them Softly. Knives Out. Lady Bird. The Last Duel on 4K. Last Night in Soho. Lawless, pretty good gangster movie. I actually watched this one recently along with Donnie Brasco as a double feature. The Lego Movie and the Lego Movie 2, the second part. The first one's great. The second one was okay. Leviathan, this is a Russian film. Very good. Licorice Pizza. The Lighthouse. The Lobster. Logan. Lords of Dogtown. The Missionist, that's a pretty weird one. Mad God, another weird one. Magnolia. Man on Fire. The Man with the No Name trilogy with A Fistful of Dollars for a Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly is a classic. The other ones are good. Manchester by the Sea. Maps of the Stars. Not very good, but it was okay. Mars Attacks. Not my favorite Tim Burton movie, but it's still pretty fun. The Master. The Mask of Zorro on 4K. The Matrix. Memento. Men. Not the worst movie. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it wasn't bad. That movie has a weird ending though. Like, what the hell? Man of Honor. Menace to Society. The Midnight Meat Train. Midsommar, the theatrical version. Minari. Mirrors. Moonlight. Moonage Daydream. Monster House. 1 second. Oh yeah, show Monster House. Mother. Nobody on 4K. Fun movie. No Country for Old Men. The Neon Demon. Northman. Old. This movie sucks, but it's funny at the same time. On the Rocks. 1 Hour Photo. Probably Robin Williams' darkest role. Great movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Parasite. Patton. Paprika. Great movie. Passchendaele, a Canadian war film. Perfume, the story of a murderer. Pearl. And that's a Bates Motel postcard I got a while ago. Looks pretty cool. And it's a little tight here again, but we got Pig. The Place Beyond the Pines. Planet Terror. The Phantom Thread. The Prestige. Phone Booth. Great thriller. Primal Fear. Private Parts. Princess Mononoke. Poltergeist, the original. And Poltergeist 2 and 3. I don't plan on getting the remake anytime soon. Psycho Goreman. This movie's hilarious. I recommend it. It's a Canadian film. Possessor. Pulp Fiction. Ralph Breaks the Internet, which is the sequel to Wreck-It Ralph, which I have on DVD. I want to get that one on Blu-ray sometime. Not as good as Wreck-It Ralph, but it's okay. Ready Player One. The Reader. Reservoir Dogs. Repo, the Genetic Opera. I actually enjoyed that one. That's a fun movie. Revenge. The Relic. Revolutionary Road. Richard Jewell. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. The Ruins. Rush. Saving Private Ryan on 4K. Same mod. I wasn't a fan of that one. Saw 2. Saw 3. 4. 5. 6. The quote-unquote final chapter. I don't have the other ones, but I will get those eventually. A Serbian film. Yes, I got this. I actually watched it a while ago out of pure curiosity. It's a fucked up movie. Scarface on 4K. Scream 2, 3, 4, and 4. I have the first one on DVD, but I haven't got around to upgrading it to Blu-ray. And I don't have 5 and 6, but I will get those eventually. And this is some My Neighbor Totoro figurines that I bought a while ago. Anyways, Schindler's List. Searching. Pretty good thriller. Secretary, one of my favorites. 7. 7 Pounds. The Shape of Water. Shaun of the Dead. Shame. The Shawshank Redemption, one of my favorites. Shutter Island on 4K. David Cronenberg's Shivers, his first film. Pretty good movie. The Shining. I actually watched this for the first time a couple months ago. Classic. Sin City. Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. Silver Linings Playbook. The Sixth Sense. Skinamarink. Not the worst movie I've seen, but it wasn't that great either. I just wasn't really for me, I guess. The Skin I Live In. Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. Sleepy Hollow. Snatch. And the last one for this second row, Snowden. And yeah, that's the second row. Now onto the third row. Alright, so on the third row we have Slumdog Millionaire, The Social Network, Splice, the 2018 remake to A Star Is Born, Stranger Than Fiction, Straight Outta Compton, Super 8 on 4K, and the Super Mario Brothers movie on 4K, Super Troopers, Suspiria, the remake. I don't have the original, also haven't seen it, but I'd like to get it at some point. Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street, Taken, Taken 2, Tar, Team America World Police, Terrifier, and Terrifier 2. Both pretty good killer clown movies. I think I like the second one better than the first one. And I know there's a third one coming out this year. I'll probably check it out. We'll see. Anyways, moving on. Tenet on 4K. That Thing You Do. Great movie. The Thing, the original on 4K. T-Tane. Titanic. Top Gun Maverick on 4K. I have the first Top Gun on Blu-ray and the Steelbooks, which we will get to later. The Town. Trailer Park Boys Countdown to Liquor Day. And Trailer Park Boys Don't Legalize It. I have the first Trailer Park Boys movie on DVD. I'd like to get it on Blu-ray at some point. Tropic Thunder. Toy Story 3. I don't have the first 2 or the 4th one yet, but I'll probably get those maybe one day. Anyways, continuing on over here, we have... Oh, it's a little tight here. I'll just... One sec. There we go. We got Tully. Unbreakable, Underworld, Underworld Evolution, Underworld Rise of the Lycans, and Underworld Awakening. I don't have Blood Wars yet, but I'll get those eventually. I like the first Underworld movie. I think I like that one the best. The sequels, well, the sequel and the prequel are pretty good. I haven't watched Awakening yet, though. Under the Skin, The Untouchables, The Usual Suspects, great movie. Up on 4K, one of my favorites. V for Vendetta. Warrior. The Warriors. I would like to get the Arrow video release at some point. Watchmen. Waltz of Bashir. Westworld. Whiplash. Who Framed Roger Rabbit. World's Greatest Dad. The Beatles, Yellow Submarine. You Were Never Really Here. And Zodiac. And Zombieland. Now I move on to my TV shows. So for TV shows we have Attack on Titan Season 1 Part 1. Season 1 Part 2. Season 2. Season 3. The final season Part 1. And the final season Part 2. I wonder when the final episodes are going to get released on Blu-ray. Those ones aren't available yet, I don't think. Attack on Titan's a great show. Anyways, we got Band of Brothers miniseries. Great miniseries. Better Call Saul Season 1, Season 4, and Season 5. I used to have the first 3 seasons on DVD. I upgraded the first one. I have yet to get Season 2 and Season 3, but I will get those soon. And I don't have Season 6 yet, but I will try to get that soon. But for right now, I only have Season 1, Season 4, and Season 5. Great show. I actually like it better than Breaking Bad, to be honest, but Breaking Bad's still good. Speaking of Breaking Bad, we got Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, the first half of Season 5, and the second half of the final season. And I also got El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. And we got Boardwalk Empire, Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, Season 5. Great show. One of my favorite shows is Boardwalk Empire. I'm actually revisiting the show right now. I'm on the first season. I started rewatching it the other day. Yeah, great show. I really enjoy that one. Moving on, we got Cowboy Bebop, the complete series. The Deuce, the first season. The Deuce, the second season. Underrated show. I enjoyed that one. For some reason, the third season never got released on Blu-ray. It's only available on DVD for some stupid reason, but oh well. It's a great show. Then we got Dexter New Blood. I have the original series to Dexter on DVD, although I'd like to upgrade those to Blu-ray at some point, but for right now, I just got New Blood. We got Lost Season 6, the only season I have in the series. I have watched all of Lost. It's a great show. I need to get the first 5 seasons on Blu-ray. I will get those at some point. Then I'll have the whole series on Blu-ray. Then we got Mad Men Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, an lenticular slipcover. Season 5. Season 6. The final season Part 1 and the final season Part 2. Mad Men's a great show. I really enjoyed that series. Then we got the Pacific miniseries. Sharp Objects miniseries. Soul Eater, the complete series. South Park seasons 1 through 5. And then we got the whole series of Spartacus. We got Season 1, Blood and Sand. Season 2, Gods of the Arena, which is the prequel season. Season 3, Vengeance. And Season 4, War of the Damned. I actually just finished watching this show recently. I really enjoyed Spartacus. I thought it was pretty underrated. It is too bad that after the first season, they had to recast the lead actor because he had cancer. And then the second season was for in case he were to get better. They just made it a prequel. And then unfortunately he passed away, and they casted this guy, Liam McIntyre, who was a pretty good replacement for the original actor. But other than that, it was a great show. I enjoyed Spartacus. And then we got True Detective Season 1 and Season 2. I don't have Season 3 yet. I will get that at some point. The first season's amazing. The second season, not that great, but it's okay, I guess. We got Tosh.0 Volume 1. Westworld Season 1, The Maze. Season 2, The Door. Season 3 on 4K. And Season 4. It's a good show. I like the first season the best. Well, the first 2 seasons were great. 3 was pretty good, and I didn't really like the 4th season, and unfortunately the show was canceled after Season 4 due to low ratings, and it was supposed to have one more season, but then they decided to just cancel it. But oh well. It was a good show though. I enjoyed it. And now we get into my boutique releases, starting with my Arrow Video releases. I don't have very many Arrow Video releases, but I do have a couple. We got An American Werewolf in London on 4K, Audition, Cinema Paradiso, Cruising, Donnie Darko on 4K. That's my favorite movie of all time. Django, pretty good Western movie. It also comes with Texas Adios on Blu-ray. Mallrats, The Limits of Control, 16 Candles, Southland Tales, and the last one from my Arrow Video releases, we got True Romance. Now we get into my criterions, which I have a lot of criterions. So we got 8.5, All About My Mother, great movie. Antichrist, that's a pretty messed up movie. Bamboozled. The Before trilogy with Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. Before Sunrise is my favorite. Before Sunset's great, and Before Midnight, while not as good, is still enjoyable. Being John Malkovich, Belle de Jour, Blue is the Warmest Color, Blue Velvet, classic David Lynch, Bottle Rocket, The Brood, Come and See. That's a very hard to watch movie. It's really disturbing, but it's really good. And the last one for this row, Crash by David Cronenberg, one of my all-time favorites. Just a very, very bonkers movie, to say the least. I love that movie. And that's the third row. Now onto the fourth row. Alright, we are now on the fourth row, and we're continuing with the criterions with Dazed and Confused. Great soundtrack and a hilarious movie. David Lynch, The Art Life, The Devil's Backbone, Dress to Kill, Do the Right Thing, Eraserhead, The Elephant Man, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Fantastic Mr. Fox, one of my favorites, The Game, The Infernal Affairs trilogy, Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai, awesome movie. The Grand Budapest Hotel, kind of an overrated Wes Anderson movie, but I still like it. I just think it's a little bit overrated in my opinion. House, Inland Empire, The Irishman, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, another Wes Anderson film. And then we got the John Cassavetes 5-film collection box set. Comes with Shadows, Faces, A Woman Under the Influence, The Killing of a Chinese Bookie, and Opening Night. I still haven't watched The Killing of a Chinese Bookie or Opening Night yet, but I've seen the other ones. Shadows is pretty good, Faces is great, and A Woman Under the Influence, while not my favorite, I still enjoyed it for what it was, just not my favorite. Let me just, yeah, there we go, we got it back in there. Then we got the complete Lady Snowblood with Lady Snowblood and Lady Snowblood's Love Song with a Vengeance. First one's great. The second one's not as good, but still enjoyable. Life During Wartime, which is kind of the sequel to Happiness, which I have on DVD. Lost Highway, one of my favorites. I even got a poster of it hanging on my ceiling. Alright. So continuing on, we got The Manchurian Candidate. This is the original. This was actually the first Criterion I ever bought, interestingly enough. My Own Private Idaho. Naked Lunch. That's a weird one. Night of the Living Dead, the original. The Night Porter. I enjoyed that movie. Moonrise Kingdom, another Wes Anderson movie. David Lynch's Mulholland Drive. Paris, Texas. That is a masterpiece of a film. The Piano. The Piano Teacher. The Piano is one of my all-time favorite movies. Pink Flamingos. Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Punch Drunk Love. Repulsion. Great movie. Raging Bull on 4K. And I forgot to mention The Piano. Lost Highway. And yeah, those are all 4K Blu-rays, I forgot to say. Anyways, Roma, Rosemary's Baby, which is out of print. This Criterion in particular is out of print. The Royal Tenenbaums, Rumblefish, great movie. Rushmore, Sallow, or the 120 Days of Sodom. That's a pretty messed up movie. Safe, which I actually just picked up yesterday. Haven't seen it yet. Scanners. Secrets and Lies. Fantastic movie. Seventh Seal. Stalker. Shortcuts. Thelma and Louise. I actually watched this one for the first time very recently. Great movie. Another great one I actually recently watched. Thief. I enjoyed that one. The Thin Red Line. The Three Colors trilogy with blue, white, and red. Blue is my favorite out of all of them. White is not as good, but the third one's great too. I think the red is just as great as the first one, but I like the first one the best. Anyways, Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down. Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. One of my local theaters actually did a screening of this movie about a month ago, and I went to it, and yeah, it was quite an interesting experience. Great movie. One of my all-time favorites. And it's my favorite prequel movie, actually. Videodrome. Long Live the New Flesh. Classic. The Virgin Suicides. War of the Worlds, the original. Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. And the last one for my Criterions, Yuta Mama Tambien. Great movie. Now we get into my small collection of digibooks. We have 300. Ghostbusters 1 and 2. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The Tuskegee Airmen. And now we get into my Scream Factory releases that I have. Well, the rest of them, because I showed the Friday the 13th set earlier. We got 8mm. The Babadook. Bones. Bubba Hotep, which I actually picked up yesterday along with Safe. Haven't seen it yet. Candyman, the original. Candyman, Farewell to the Flesh. Child's Play, the first one. And the original. Creep Show. And Dead Ringers. Great David Cronenberg film. I'm just sitting on the floor right now as we go through this section. Anyways, we got The Dead Zone. Dog Soldiers. The Exorcist 2, The Heretic. I know this movie's supposed to be bad, but at least it could be better than that piece of shit Believer, which came out a while back. Because Exorcist Believer was a piece of shit of a movie. Anyways, Ghost Ship. The Human Centipede trilogy. I believe this one might be out of print. I could be wrong. I don't know. It might be, though. Idle Hands. That's a fun one. Krampus on 4K. In the Mouth of Madness. Awesome movie. Misery. Nightbreed, the director's cut. I know this movie recently got a 4K release with also the theatrical cut. I'd like to get the 4K of this one at some point. That's a fun movie. The Poughkeepsie tapes. Rabid, the original, and Rabid, the remake. I actually thought this was a decent remake. Not as good as the original, but it was still a decent remake. Raw. Ravenous, one of my favorites. Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'd like to get Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 at some point. The Tenet. And the last one for my Scream Factories, Trick or Treat. Fun movie. Now we get into my Shout Factory releases. We got Adaptation. The Deer Hunter on 4K. Colors. Havoc. This movie sucks. The Handmaid's Tale. M. Butterfly, an underrated David Cronenberg film. The Pianist, Valley Girl, Wild at Heart, both good Nicolas Cage movies, and I really enjoyed Wild at Heart. This one would make a great double feature with True Romance and Natural Born Killers, in my opinion. And Surviving the Game. And now for the only Severin Blu-ray that I have, The Changeling. That's a pretty good ghost movie. And now we move on to my Kino Lorber Studio Classics release. We got Cujo, Eastern Promises on 4K, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I revisited this one recently. Great movie. The Hot Spot. In Bruges on 4K. That movie's hilarious. Jungle Fever. Summer Lovers. To Live and Die in LA on 4K. And Mo Better Blues. And finally, we get to the last bit of my collection, my steelbooks. We got 10 Cloverfield Lane, Almost Famous on 4K, one of my favorites. Dances with Wolves, Death Wish, Doctor Strangelove, Easy Rider, Escape from New York, Ghost in the Shell, the original, and the live-action remake. I actually still haven't watched the live-action remake yet. Not that I'm in a big rush to seeing it, but yeah. The Godfather Part 2, my favorite one in the trilogy, Heathers, Law-Abiding Citizen, Minority Report, Nightcrawler, Perfect Blue, Psycho, the original on 4K, Ponyo, and the last one for this row, A Quiet Place. And that's the fourth row. Now on to half of the fifth row, and then we'll be done this video. Alright, so now we're going to finish this video pretty quickly. We don't have very much left, so continuing off, we have Stuck. Quiet Place Part 2 on 4K. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Taxi Driver. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. Top Gun. True Grit, the remake. I have the original on VHS. Superbad. The Wind Rises. The Witch. The Wolf of Wall Street on 4K. Zoolander. And last but not least, the only TV show that I have on 4K on Steelbook, Chernobyl. And there you go. That's my entire collection of Blu-rays and 4K Blu-rays that I have. And the rest here are just DVDs and some of my VHSs. We'll probably get to these TV shows when we do my DVD collection, like an updated on that one pretty soon. But yeah, that's it for this. That's my collection. So there you have it, guys. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment below, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share the video with your friends. And I'm probably going to do an updated look on my DVD collection here pretty soon. But yeah, anyways, until then, thanks again for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. And until next time, this is Keegan Shepard signing off. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And yeah, take care, everybody. Peace out. Bye-bye.